for what you just said. You said that you want to stop a car at the pole as they're entering and explain to them what you're asking them to sign, ask them to sign, and then hand them the clipboard so then they can go in. If they want to sign it, they can sign it and bring it back to you. What I'm telling you, that engagement, just as this engagement right here, prevents other cars, not by your own fault, but through your actions, from entering the pole. Okay? So that amount of time, hey, how are you doing? I have this, whatever it is that you want someone to sign for. Hey, I have A, B, and C that I'd like for your signature on. Yes, well, if you'd like to sign it, please take back the clipboard and take it so that we can clear the traffic. Unfortunately, that amount of time,
Thank you so much. Hold on one second, I dropped my phone. Thank you.
So therefore, you are still, and I think that what I've given you is a reasonable solution to this, so that you can still do this without blocking a 2-lane driveway. Unfortunately, this is only a 2-lane driveway. Your encounter with them out here and explaining that to them prevents other cars from entering there. Yeah. So the reasonable solution to this is to move yourself to that side of the road where cars still have, from that stop sign all the way down here, to pull up and discuss it with you. You could even have a big old sign that says, hey, I would like people to sign a petition right here, and they can still enter and exit from the pole. But what is frustrating is that you have been given that as a reasonable solution to this.
I don't think that's reasonable.
Okay, well, this is not.
We're trying to get voters. People want to come to and fro. They
right.
And
you could do it on that side of the road.
What's that?
Okay.
We're missing people coming in and out trying to talk with them, so just give them what they want.
Okay.
Let's get on with it.
Go on that side of the road.
Well, no, I mean, we were allowed to stand here.
No, you're blocking this, okay? So
you said we could do it
I'll tell you what,
as
you've been warned by the sheriff's office, right?
No, he said we were doing is fine.
Okay.
Sheriff said what we're
Unfortunately,
doing is absolutely fine.
there is a complaint that you're stopping people from entering the pole.
We have it all on video of us, our interaction with the sheriff.
Okay, that's fine. And what I'm telling you is you are still continuing. We're out here because we are getting a call that you're preventing people from entering the pole, sir. You just said to me, what I'm going to do is stop them before they enter the pole, explain all this to them, hand them my clipboard so they can go in and sign it and bring it back. And what I'm explaining to you is, in that time, if you prevent someone from entering the pole, then you have prevented someone from entering the
pole. Right, and that's what I'm saying, is that we will not prevent people from entering the pole. Now,
okay, how are you going to do that? I'm asking for a reasonable solution to that.
I will show you. Like, we've been doing that this whole day. We don't like backing up traffic. We tell people, okay, come on through. The only reason that guy got stopped is because your car was here. If your car was pulled alongside here, that wouldn't have blocked anybody. Okay.
So what do you do when someone's coming out and you've stopped someone coming in?
We say, excuse me, can you pull up? There's somebody trying to get in behind you, and if they're a courteous person, that's what they'll do.
Okay, so how do you interact with them without going on the property?
They're right there. Most of the time, they're right there. And I just say, hey, could you just pull them around? Once you're done voting, just drop your clipboard back off with us. That's what they do. They're fine with that because they care about what we're doing.
Okay.
But I would like to make it clear, it is absolutely fine for us to stand here, because you just told us, no, you can't do that. You can't stand here.
No, at no point in time did I say you cannot stand here. I said my reasonable solution. Now, don't put words in my mouth. Let's make sure we are very clear for this camera. Hang on. Let's make sure we're very clear. What I said is a reasonable solution to this that allots you the opportunity to interact with all traffic coming and going from the pole. That would be reasonable, so you don't accidentally prevent someone from getting to the pole by engaging in 2 cars at one time in the driveway where no one can enter or exit. Would be to place it on that side of the road where you have an entire lane that is safe, where cars do not stop in the roadway. They can pull off on the shoulder, safely engage with you. You still capture all the traffic going to the voting pole. You could even have a big old sign there that says, this is what I want to talk to you about, but you're telling me that you don't want to do that.
I don't think that's a reasonable
estimate. Well, understand that any cars that do stop on the roadway can be cited for improper stopping the roadway, and that if we do get another complaint that someone was not able to enter the pole because of you guys, then you'll deal with that, because you've been given a reasonable solution to that.
So wait, we would be cited for the car stopping and
No, see, you just put words in my mouth. I'm not going to engage in that.
You just said a vehicle.
I said the drivers that stop in the roadway, that have to be stopped in the roadway, well, they're illegally stopping in the roadway.
Right, so
don't stop anyone in the roadway, because they can be cited for stopping in the roadway.
They can be cited. So don't say that I can be cited.
No one said you. I didn't say you can be cited.
Okay, so they can be cited.
I said you will have to deal with if someone else calls in and says, hey, I can't enter the polls because this guy is trying.
Can't they falsely accuse us anyways? I mean,
how could they falsely accuse us?
Can't anybody call because they don't like what we're doing out here, and so they say that we're blocking driveway even if we aren't? I mean, people do that all the time to us.
What you're doing. You could be selling Girl Scout cookies. The issue is the fact that you're actually
It is,
here and
sir. I know you don't
understand
that.
Because I have no clue what you're doing, and so what I'm explaining is the actual.
I think that might be the problem.
Yeah, that is the problem.
No, actually, here, let me clarify that point for you. I'm Catholic. I have your business card up in my dash. I support 40 Days for Life. Big
so
sign
they
over by
do
my
know
church.
why we're here.
So I know every bit about it, and I support every bit of it. In fact, I support 100% of what you guys are signing for. In fact, you'll probably find my name on one of those petitions. What I'm telling you is I'm trying to prevent you from getting yourself in a legal situation where you prevent a voter from coming to the polls, sir.
And I want to know what the citation would be for that. If I would be arrested, if I would be detained for doing that.
Okay. Do you know what the crime is?
Well, you just explained to me, stopping someone from entering a poll, interfering with a poll, right?
Right, interfering with a poll.
Right. So that's a crime.
Yeah, there's a separate crime in there.
Okay. So what would the consequence of that be?
But why does that pertain to your actions now?
I'm just curious. Because you're talking about citations that don't really apply to me. I thought when you're talking about citations, it would be reasonable for you to talk about what might happen to me if I continue this, but instead you were talking about the drivers. Right.
Because it's not safe.
Matt, we can get them as they're pulling out.
That
right now we're missing a lot of people trying to.
Entering and stopping them, it prevents them from running the poll. Now leaving.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't prevent them from going to the poll.
Okay, man, you seem pretty reasonable in this. It can't prevent people from entering the poll.
Yes, we both.
Hang on, she seems to be more reasonable.
Okay. Sorry.
When they're exiting the poll, that would probably be a more reasonable time to encounter them.
That's fine. As long as we can stay on this side of the street, I'm fine with that.
Okay. And I don't have an issue with you on the side of the street. What I'm explaining to you, though, is if I was in your position and I wanted to capture a lot of people, okay, and I don't want to be in a position to where it's unsafe for multiple cars to get stacked up, you have an entire massive shoulder where you can line cars up and go car to car. I mean, you can engage with people. But, man, sir, I'm talking to her for just a second, man, but it's not helpful. Okay, but and that, to me, would be so much safer. But if you want to engage them here at the driveway, doing it upon entering is not the way to do it. Because what happens is you wave like this and they think you're waving them down. They cannot hear. If I tell that a car coming, stop, they're never going to hear me tell them stop. Right. But if I do stop,
like I said, I don't mind them getting them coming out. So.
This action looks like stopping, and you just stop. They roll the window down, okay? So inadvertently, you've detained them there, all right? Talking to them as they leave, not a problem, because people still enter the poll.
Right. I don't mind doing it just as they're leaving. I can get the same people. The last thing I want to have happen too is, since he can't be on the property, I'm just more concerned about us getting the maximum amount of signatures today, because I'm tired of baby murder in our country, and the authorities aren't doing anything about it to stop it. So I think the people need to start to rise up and to be a voice.
Well, this is a much bigger issue than authority.
But there are magistrates who could put an end to it, that could defy the federal government, could defy their superiors. I had a good friend of mine by the name of Chet Gallagher. He was a police officer for 20 plus years, was sent to an abortion clinic to arrest Christians for peaceably blockading an abortion clinic. It was against the law, but it wasn't against God's law. And he went there to arrest them. That's what his officer told him to do, his superior officer. And he refused to do it because he knew that what they were doing was in accordance with God's will. That God doesn't want little babies made in his image and his likeness to be put to death. And so he knew, as an officer of the law, that he had to protect the innocent. And so he retired on the spot on his loudspeaker, retired, sat down with the Christians and peacefully assembled with them. You know, and I respect him so much, because even though he was an officer of the law, he was in uniform, he chose to give up obeying man and instead decided that day to obey God. And so, you know, I would challenge you guys, you know, you have the opportunity as officers to put an end to baby murder.
Yeah, I do it every day. I'm Catholic. I do it every day. I support every bit of that.
I do that. But we tolerate it.
And I get that, and I do it every day in my job. But at the same time, you also can't violate someone else's rights to get to the polls. See, it may be at this point in time, yeah, you know what? They have the right to vote, okay? So they have the right to go in there, and you can't detain them from that.
But, and I understand what you're saying.
So this is a very serious issue. It's a very serious issue globally.
Can I finish what I was saying?
Sure. You asked me a question, you engaged, and I'm giving you a response.
Yes. So I'm perfectly fine with people going to vote. It seems like that's what you guys are very concerned about today.
Right.
And I'm just asking you to be concerned about the preborn, our neighbors that God has commanded us to love.
Okay.
You know,
and I've told you, that's the thing is you're making the assumption.
Do you go
that
to an abortion clinic and do you prevent abortionists from killing babies?
My activities have absolutely nothing with what we're talking about right now. What we're talking about today is you guys' action by engaging people as they enter this establishment.
Right, and I already told you I would not address any more cars going in, and that's what you're saying.
And if we resolve that, that sounds reasonable. The problem is the previous position was in opposition to being reasonable. And if we can manage to be reasonable and not interfere with this at all, we don't have an issue.
Well, from the very beginning, I told you I would only address the cars exiting. I can't speak for Matt, but I will only
address... If I do address the cars entering, I will make sure that does not prevent anybody from doing it. If I see a car coming up, I'll say, I'll need you to go. I can't block traffic. That's what I'll say.
Matt,
Yes.
you need to be reasonable. Okay.
I'm sorry, what is unreasonable about that?
The fact that the car's entering, your engagement with them interrupts that movement. As he's already explained,
If they choose.
Yeah, so Matt, how do you clarify before stopping them? How do they know what it is that you're stopping them to engage them about? How do they know that?
Oh, I hold this up.
So how do they know what that is?
They don't have to. You know, most people just drive on by. They don't care.
Like I just explained to her.
Okay.
Matt, when you hold up a hand, that means stop.
Okay, I can go like this. I can go, people, when you do this, people are like, oh, they want me to sign something. That's reasonable. They put their window down because they're interested. They're like, oh, what is that? Maybe I would want to sign that. They put the window down, and I go, would you like to sign a petition to end abortion in Oklahoma?
There's the problem. That takes time.
And I can see that there's nobody coming. This is a long road.
We can't control their foot on the brake. I mean, we can wave them by, but they still may put their foot on the brake, and we can't control that.
Yeah, and if I see a car coming and I go, oh, they might be pulling up, would you mind? You can take the clipboard, you sign it on your own time, drop it back off to us. But I mean, to say that, oh, there might be someone coming out.
Okay.
But
well, Matt, here's the thing. What I can tell is you're going to continue to do it the way that you want to do it. She has come up with a reasonable solution to this, which is very admirable to try to work this out. Because the reality of it is myself and Officer Ellis here, our personal opinions about what you're doing here does not have anything to do with you all detaining somebody entering the polls. The act of detaining someone from entering the polls is unlawful. So therefore, do not do that. She has come up with a reasonable solution, because my original solution was, well, hey, let's try the other side of the road. She said, hey, how about instead of that, I just talk to them as they're leaving, so that way we don't run into a situation where we're detaining anyone entering. And I said, that's a great idea. In fact, that sounds like the best idea of all this, so you don't have to move from this spot. You still engage with people at the polls, and you don't inadvertently prevent someone from entering the poll. So that was reasonable, and you're explaining to me that that's still not reasonable, that you want to, because...
That's reasonable, but I also think getting them coming in is reasonable too. There's a reasonable way to do that. And if I look and I say, okay, there's no traffic coming, I'm not going to be and to say that I'm detaining somebody by saying, would you like to sign? That's not the detaining.
It is that engagement.
They're choosing to do that.
Matt, you're not listening. That engagement, asking them that question, would you like to sign this? Whether their response is yes or no, that engagement with them prevents them entering the poll.
They've chosen to do that.
No, they have not chosen to do that.
They've chosen to listen to me. They're driving. They have the window up.
Matt, how do they know that you are not telling them, hey, as you come in, you need to park over here?
That's not my problem. That's my First
Amendment
Amendment right.
It is your problem because your action is inadvertently detaining people from entering the poll.
It's not detaining
even as small as it may be.
You're saying my First Amendment right to free speech, to hold up something.
Your First Amendment right to free speech, has nothing to do with you impeding their ability to move.
And I'm not impeding anybody's ability by saying, would you like to sign something? I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. To say, would you like to sign something? And to say that is detaining somebody, preventing somebody from going into polls is absolutely ridiculous. And people know that when they come to a polling station that there's going to be petitioners. I mean, I'm sorry, but to say that if somebody's trying to get you to sign something, you've been detained and they're forcing you not to go into the polls, that's ridiculous.
No, I don't think anyone said forcing not to go into the polls.
Detain means I'm preventing them. That means that even if they wanted to, they couldn't get away.
No, it really
doesn't. When police use the word detain, it means you're not free to go. So if you're saying to me that me saying to
there's a difference between a detainment with law enforcement and somebody's travel's being detained, there's a big difference there, man. Okay? There's a huge difference.
But you're saying it's criminal for me
To prevent someone from going to the poll,
And
or
I'm not- okay.
to stop and time?
I'm sorry.
See, your
I disagree.
semantics.
If you could check with your supervisor to make sure that me going like this, would you like to sign, is
So you want me to
somebody-
have my supervisor come out here? Is that what you're asking?
I want you to call maybe and find out if me asking somebody, me holding up a sign, me saying, "Would you like to sign?" is actually
Yeah,
in and of
doing
itself.
that right here is not.
Okay, so I can say, "Would you like to sign?"
Yeah.
as they're driving up.
Yes.
But how is that not preventing them?
Because you
If they
said you
choose to
wanted to
put their
do. You
window
said you
down.
wanted to do it over here, Matt.
No, if they choose to put their window down.
Hang on, Matt. Let me clarify
Yeah,
because
go ahead.
maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're saying.
Okay.
To me, what you're implying is you're gonna stand on the entrance side.
Oh,
here.
no. I can stand right here because they're driving. See,
Okay.
her driver window is right
Okay.
there.
See, Matt,
Right.
you're not clarifying that because I'm under the impression you're gonna go stand right there in the middle of the entrance and exit, whereas every car comes in, you're stopping and you're going like this, and so
Oh, no.
they can't get in.
No,
So you're gonna stay over here,
Did you see us do that?
Matt.
No, I'm asking. I'm honestly
Listen,
asking. Did you see us
and
do
I'm
that
honestly
anyway?
telling you, Matt, what I thought you were explaining.
Okay.
And you want to engage in, you're not going to get a confrontation from me or Officer Ellis, okay? We're good Christian men that support this whole cause, okay? So you're not going to get a confrontation from us if that's what you're looking for.
I'm not
but what I'm
looking for
explaining,
anything.
well,
I'm really
what I'm
not.
explaining.
I just want. You said you
Okay.
saw us do it,
Matt,
so I'm just
no.
curious.
I saw you engage with a car out there. Yes, I saw you walk up to the car window out there.
Right.
Yes, Matt, I saw that.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So what I'm asking, you're wanting to make an argument here. What I'm telling you is my impression was that you're telling me that you're going to go stand in the middle of the driveway and go like this.
Right. That's not what I
Holding it
plan
up.
on doing. What
Okay.
I plan on doing is standing here on the public easement, not in the driveway.
Right.
And as people drive up,
Okay.
I'm going to go, "Would you like to sign?"
Sure.
And if they put the window down and they go, "Sure, I want to sign," or "What is it?" or whatever, if there's nobody around, I can go up, hand them a clipboard. If there's still nobody around, they can sign it. If I see
Okay.
someone coming up, I'll be like, "Hey, you go ahead and pull in, sign it, bring it on to
Make
us on the
sure
way out."
you really stress to them the importance
I'm not blocking.
of not blocking, because what you don't want to do is don't put yourself in a situation. You know, you understand what we're trying to do? No, we're trying to help you in this matter, and I think you're misunderstanding that.
But yeah, I think there was a complete misunderstanding there because I didn't think that you thought I was literally standing in the middle.
Yeah, Matt, I thought what you're
Oh,
telling
no,
me is that when we leave, this stays here and you go right to the middle.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to get run over either. You know what I mean? But no, I haven't been doing that. I've been like, if they stop, like if that guy stopped right now, I'd go and I'd like look and I'd be like, okay, and I'd go hand him one if you wanted to.
Sure.
But no, we haven't been standing there.
So what is your game plan for if it does become a deal where someone doesn't want to move, or if they do stay there? What's your game plan?
I'd be like, we really need you to move, and if they
Okay.
don't, that's on them.
Do you take the clipboard back from them, or what do you do at that point? Like if they don't?
I don't know. What
they're
would
not
you
willing-
suggest?
Well, that's not for me, man. I'm not the one that's
Oh, I mean,
handling that
then I would just
operation. I can't make that.
I'd be
kind
like,
of
I
suggestion.
really need you to move. If they, for some reason, said they don't want to move,
Sure.
then that they would become the ones who are preventing people from entering, not me, because I
Sure.
told them, what they need to do. You know what I mean?
Right. You don't think some signage as far as what you're here for might help you
we had
draw
a
more
sign.
people to
We
you?
had a sign earlier, and we found that most people were just kind of deterred by a sign.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
I think it's just.
I think they're violating their own law right now, which I think is funny.
I mean, we use signs on things in different games. Right now we're looking for voters here, and it's going to want to do it real quick. Some of them you get turned off and uncomfortable from a sign. You understand this, like, sure, I understand that. I think she was probably a little flustered, but if she found out we were supporting the liberal Democrat teacher pay raise, she'd been pretty happy and been like, yeah, sweet, I'll stop traffic and sign that. I mean, so yeah, I get it, but she literally
Exactly right.
probably waited 10 seconds, and if that's enough to upset her, I don't know, maybe she's just having a bad day, but I think more than that, once she found out what it was about, she was like, oh, we're trying to save children from destruction, I'm gonna call the police. I don't think she was that upset about the fact that she had to wait.
It might have been even the pastor inside. We don't know for
Yeah,
sure.
pastor inside's a jerk. He came out.
We don't
told
know.
us,
Could have been
"Oh, this
anybody.
isn't even an easement."
Could have been somebody
Like,
driving by, not even going to the polls today. Just
Well, I don't know that if he disagrees with you, makes him a jerk.
No,
he
was
actually
telling
came
us
out
that-
and told us
he
to
was
leave
telling us
already.
to leave because he said this is not a public right of way. It's a public road, right? He said,
That's for missing
this is a
people.
public. So it has to be an easement for people walking there. He said, oh yeah, it's like 5 feet from the road. I'm like, so you want us to stand closer to the road and a few utilities right there that utility that he is.
Let me offer another suggestion that might even be more beneficial to you.
Yeah, please.
Okay. So, vehicles traveling northbound to get here have to pass that point on the
point?
right side of the road, right?
Right.
The vehicles that would come from this direction have to pass that intersection.
Right.
Also, public locations
Right.
where if you make contact there's plenty of room for other vehicles that want to get around can go around. So both of those locations offer you the ability to have those folks stop, talk with you, inform them fully, and actually engage in a conversation that will be meaningful and probably more beneficial to obtain signatures that you want versus trying to do it quickly right here in the entrance, because you're in close enough proximity in both of those locations that obviously people are coming here to vote. So there's a high probability that you're going to make contact with them.
Not that, but I think you probably engage in traffic not even coming.
Exactly, which
That's just
would
that's
be
just a
way
a
more
suggestion. You
beneficial
don't
in my
have to-
mind.
You don't have to do that, but I mean, obviously, if your concern is capturing the most amount of people, that would capture more. Because if you're capturing northbound people coming,
Yeah.
and if you're at that intersection, you'd be capturing southbound people coming, whether they're coming to the polls or not.
So,
And allow
honestly,
you the
I mean,
opportunity. But that's just
it
a
almost
thought.
gives the impression, this location here, that you're wanting to force the people to engage with you, which can be a big turnoff, versus taking a position where a person goes, hey, I'm interested in what that is, or wanting to find out what that is, because people kind of get an understanding, like you said before, people assume that there's going to be picketers and folks out, at the polling sites. So obviously your presence, for the most part, is understood, and those who want to know and want to engage with what the message is that you're promoting and get involved have more of a sense of volunteerism in doing that and engaging with you versus feeling like it's being forced right here.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I'm just kind of worried about. If I was stopped at a stop sign, I probably would have.
So I didn't mean at the stop sign.
Okay, where did you?
If you, about where that car is right there now,
Yeah.
but on the other side of the road, because there's two of you here. So
One
if
could be
one of you took the
southbound, one could be
position that way of the
northbound.
vehicles coming this way, then if you do get someone who's engaged, as Officer Brew has already stated, you've got plenty of roadway on the side there that they're not impeding the flow of traffic. They can
And they're
still
able
come
to
in and
just
vote
simply
when
go
they're done
around.
with your contact and make a legal traffic maneuver. And the same on this side, so that whoever's coming, you get people coming and going, actually.
Right.
So,
Yeah, we may do that. I'm just worried. I don't know. There is something of a level of convenience.
Yeah, well,
them
Matt, listen,
driving in.
it's okay to take our suggestions.
Yeah,
it doesn't
yeah,
mean you're. Hang on, listen. It doesn't mean you're giving up on your cause.
No, I understand.
Okay,
Yeah, sure.
but by all means, I don't sacrifice your cause